Let's vote now. Maybe we can all go home.
Yeah.
Anyone doesn't want to vote? Okay. All those voting guilty, raise up your hands. 8. Okay. Not guilty. 1. Okay.
Somebody's in left field. You think he's not guilty?
I don't know.
I never saw a guiltier man in my life. You sat right there in the court and heard the same thing I did. The man's a dangerous killer.
He's 17.
That's old enough. He knifed his own father. He proved it a dozen different ways.
Well, do you believe his story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
So what did you vote not guilty for?
It's not so easy for me to send a boy off to prison without talking about it first.
Who says it's easy for me?
No one.
What, just because I vote fast? I think the guy's guilty. You couldn't change my mind no matter what.
I don't want to change your mind. I just want to talk for a while. Look, this boy has been kicked around all his life. You know, living in a slum, his mother dead since age 9. I think maybe we owe him a few words.
You don't owe him a thing. You had a fair trial, didn't you? You know what that trial costs?
I've lived among them all my life. You can't believe a word.
What's a terrible thing for someone to say? Since when is dishonesty a group characteristic?
All right, we don't need a sermon.
It's very dangerous.
I don't see any need for arguing.
That's a good point. We have a job to do.
Seems to me it's up to us to convince this woman that we're right.
Suppose we go around table. Who wants to get a start?
Oh, well, I just think he's guilty. I mean, nobody proves otherwise.
Nobody has to prove otherwise. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. The defendant doesn't have to open up his mouth.
What I mean, well, I think he's guilty. Let's get to the facts. Let's take the old man who lived on the 2nd floor under the room when the murder took place. At 12:10, he heard loud noises in the upstairs apartment. He said it sounded like a fight. Then he heard the kid say to his father, "I'm going to kill you." A second later, he heard a body falling. He ran to the door of his apartment and looked out. He saw the kid running down the stairs and out of the house. Then he called the police. He found the father with a knife in his chest.
They fixed the time deaths around midnight.
The boy's whole story is weak. He said he was at the movies and he couldn't even remember what movie he saw.
That's right.
And what about the woman across the street? If she doesn't prove he's guilty, nothing does.
That's right, she saw the killing.
Just a minute. Here's a woman lying in bed, can't sleep. It's hot. She looks outside. She's tossing and turning, and she sees the boy stick the knife in his father. She's across the street, across the L tracks. She saw him do it.
Through the windows of a passing train.
And they proved in court you can see through the windows of a passing L train at night and see what's happening on the other side.
Let me ask you something. How come you believe her? She's one of them too, isn't she?
You're a pretty smart witch, aren't you?
Let's calm down. It's your turn.
I'll pass it.
All right. How about you?
I think we're wasting our time. Look at the kid's record. At 13, he was in reform school. He stole a car. He's been picked up for knife fighting. This is some kid.
Ever since he was 5 years old, his father beat him all the time.
So would I, a kid like that?
You're right, it's the kids. They don't listen.
We're missing the point here. This kid, let's say he's the product of a broken home in the slums. We can't help that. We're not here to explain why slums make criminals.
You said it.
I've lived in the slums all my life. I played in a backyard filled with garbage. Maybe you can still smell it on me.
There's nothing personal.
There is something personal.
Now, wait a minute, you.
We are wasting our time. It's your turn.
I had a funny feeling about this trial. Somehow I felt the defense attorney never really asked the right questions. I mean, he was appointed by the court to defend the boy. but he hardly seemed interested. Too many questions were left unasked.
What about the ones that were asked? For instance, let's talk about that cute little switch knife. You know, the one that fine upright kid bought?
All right. Let's get it and talk about it.
What do we have to look at it again?
Tonight was a pretty strong piece of evidence, don't you agree?
I do.
The boy admits going out of his house after being hit by his father. He went to a neighborhood store and bought a switchblade. The storekeeper was arrested the next day. It's a very unusual knife. The storekeeper said it was one of a kind. Why did the boy get it? As a present for a friend of his, he says. Am I right?
Right?
The boy says on the way home that must have fallen through a hole in his pocket. He says he never saw it again. You know what really happened? A few hours later, he stabbed his father with it. He even remembered to wipe off the fingerprints. Everyone connected to the case identified this knife. Trying to tell me someone else found the knife on the street and stabbed his father with it.
I'm saying that it's possible that the boy lost a knife, but someone else could have stabbed the father with a knife just like it.
Oh, come on! Crazy.
Jesus.
Problem.
What are you trying to do?
Liars!
Where did you get it?
I got it last night in a little shop around the corner from the boy's
You
house.
proved nothing. Maybe there are 10 knives like that, so what? The boy lied.
He may have lied. Do you think he lied?
Sure he lied.
Do you?
He lied.
Do you think he lied?
Well, I don't know. Wait a second, what are you the guy's lawyer? There are 10 of us here who think he's guilty. You're alone. If you hang this jury, you'll be trying to get him found guilty.
You're probably right.
So what are you gonna do about it? We could be here all night.
It's only one night.
A man might die. I've got an idea. Let's all vote by secret ballot. If you are still the only holdout, will you change your vote guilty?
Yes.
Anyone agree? Guilty, 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 guilty. Not guilty.
Who was it?
It was a secret ballot.
What do you mean there are no secrets in here? I know who it was. You come in here and vote guilty, and then the slick preacher starts to tear your heart out with stories about a poor kid, so you changed your vote.
Now wait a minute.
Please! I would like to say something here. I always thought that a person could have a popular opinion in this country. This is the reason I came here. I wanted to have the right to disagree. In my own country, I'm ashamed to see that.
What do we have to do now? Listen to the whole history of your country?
Yeah, let's stick to the subject. Why'd you change your vote?
He didn't change his vote, I did! This jury here chose to stand alone against us. It takes courage to stand alone, even if you believe in something strongly. She left the verdict up to us. She got for help and I give it to her. I want to hear more.
Look, I was a little excited. I didn't mean anything personal.
If that kid didn't kill him, who did?
We're supposed to decide whether the boy on trial is guilty. We're not concerned with anybody else.
Guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. This is an important thing to remember.
Suppose you explain what your reasonable doubts are.
This isn't easy. So far, it's only a feeling I have.
A feeling? What about the facts?
Right. The old man heard the kid yell, "I'm gonna kill you." A second later, he heard the father's body falling, and he saw the boy running from the house 15 seconds after that.
Let's not forget the woman across the street. She saw the boy stab his father. Now, if that's not enough.
It's not enough for me.
The woman saw the killing through the windows of a moving elevated train. The train has 5 cars, and she saw through the windows of the last 2.
Take a look. How long does it take an elevated train going at top speed to pass a given point?
About 10 to 12 seconds.
I'd say that's a fair guess. Anyone else?
About 10 seconds.
About 10 seconds.
An L train takes 10 seconds to pass a given point. When your window is open and the train goes by, the noise is awful. You can't even hear yourself think.
So what?
The old man heard the boy say, "I'm gonna kill you." 1 second later, he heard the body fall. 1 second. The woman across the street looks through the window of the last 2 cars of the L train and saw the body fall. The last 2 cars. An L train takes 10 seconds to pass a given point, or 2 seconds per car. That train had to be going past the old man's window for at least 6 seconds before the body fell, according to the woman. The old man would have had to hear the boy say, "I'm gonna kill you," while the front of the L was roaring past his nose. But he could not have heard it.
I don't think he could have heard it.
Maybe he didn't hear it. I mean, with the L noise.
Why would the old man lie? What's he got to gain?
Attention, maybe. I looked at him for a long time. This is a very old man with a torn jacket. He carried 2 canes. He's a quiet, unimportant man. He's been nothing all of his life. Nobody knows him after 75 years. That's a very sad thing. A man like that needs attention. He wants to be quoted just once.
You're trying to say he lied just so he could be important?
He didn't really lie. But maybe he's making himself believe he heard those words and saw the boy running away.
How can you make up a thing like that?
I speak from experience.
Is there anything else?
Yes. I think we proved that the old man couldn't hear the boy shout. But suppose he did. How many times have each of you said, "I'll kill you"? We say it every day. But he's too bright to yell it so the whole neighborhood could hear it.
Right? He's a dumb slob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English.
I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
The vote is 6-3 in favor of guilty.
What are you basing it on? You pull stories out of thin air. Now we're supposed to believe the old man didn't get out of bed and run to the door and see the kid 15 seconds after the killing? He only said so to be important.
Did the old man say he ran to the door?
Ran walked, what's the difference?
I don't remember what he said, but I don't see how he could run.
Where's the bedroom again, Miss Foreman? I'd like to see the drawing in the apartment again.
He's an old man. Half the time he was confused.
All right. This is the apartment where the killing took place. The old man's apartment is right under it and exactly the same. Here's the front door to the apartment and here are the stairs. Now the old man was in his bed in this room. He said he got up and went down the hall to the front door. He looked out and saw the kid running down the stairs. His bed is at the window. It is 12 feet from his bed to the bedroom door. The hall is 43 feet long. He had to get out of bed, get his canes, walk 12 feet, open the bedroom door, walk 43 feet, and open the front door, all in 15 seconds. Do you think that is possible?
He can only walk very slowly. They had to help him to the witness chair. For an old man who uses canes, it's a long walk.
I think the old man was trying to get to the front door and guessed it was the boy.
Guessed? You come in here with your bleeding heart about some slum kid and injustice. Well, I'm getting real sick of you. This kid is guilty. He's got to burn. Maybe you'd like to pull the switch. Which kid in the bed I like to pull the switch? Shut
You
up.
want to see this boy die because you personally want him to, not because of the
I
facts.
said shut up. You don't have to behave like children.
We are to decide on innocence or guilt of a man we do not know. We have nothing to gain or lose. This is one reason we are strong. We should not make it a personal thing. Maybe we should try another vote.
Let's call out our votes. I want to know who stands where.
All right, I vote guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Guilty.
The crime is being committed right in this room.
The vote is 4-5.
I'm ready to declare hung jury.
Me too. Let the kid take his chances with another jury.
You still don't think there's room for reasonable doubt?
No, I don't.
Maybe you don't understand the term reasonable doubt.
You come running here for your life from your country and now you're going to tell us how to run this country?
Wait a second. Nobody's asking where you came from.
I was born right here.
And nobody's asking where your father came from. Maybe we should just take a look at the people who come running here. Maybe they know something we don't.
Let's stop arguing. Who's got something constructive to say?
Well, something's been bothering me a little. This whole business about the stab wound and how it was made. The downward angle of it, you know?
You went over that in court.
I don't go along with it. The boy is 5 feet 8 inches tall. His father was 6'2". That is a difference of 6 inches. It's very hard to stab down to the chest of someone who's taller than you are.
Wait a minute. Give me that knife. Switchblades came with the neighborhood I grew up in. Anyone who's ever used a knife would never stab downward. You used it underhand.
Then he wouldn't have created the kind of wound that killed his father.
No. Not if he's ever had any experience with switchblades.
I don't believe it.
Neither do I.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know.
I'm sick of this whole thing. Let's break it up and go home. I'm changing my vote to not guilty.
You're what?
I've had enough.
That's no answer.
I agree. What kind of person are you? You vote guilty because there are some theater ticket burning hole in your pocket. Now you have changed your votes for the same reason. I don't think you have the right to play with a man's life like that. This is an ugly thing to do.
You can't talk like that
If
to
you want
me.
to vote not guilty, then do it because you are convinced the man's not guilty. If you think he's guilty, then vote that way.
Listen.
Is it guilty or not guilty?
He's not guilty.
Why?
I don't think he's guilty.
I want another vote.
I guess the quickest way is a show of hands. Anyone object? All those voting not guilty, raise up your hands. 7. All those voting guilty? The vote is 7-2 in favor of not guilty.
I still think the boy is guilty of murder. To me, the most important evidence was given by the woman across the street. She saw the murder committed.
Let's go over her statement.
She said she went to bed at 11 that night. Her bed was next to the open window. She could look right into the window across the tracks. She tossed and turned for over 1 hour, unable to sleep. Finally, she turned towards the window at 12:10. As she looked out, she saw the boy stab his father.
That's the whole case.
Pardon me, can you see the clock without your glasses?
Not clear. Why?
Look, this may be dumb, but what do you do when you wake up at night and want to know what time it is?
I put on my glasses and look at the clock.
You don't wear them to bed.
Nobody wears glasses to bed.
The woman who said she saw the murders wears glasses. You wouldn't wear them to bed, would she?
She did. I remember this clearly. They look quite strong.
That's right. She never took them off. She did wear glasses. It's funny, I never thought of it. She didn't wear them to bed, that's for sure. She said while she was tossing and turning, she looked outside the window and that's where she saw the murder. The lights went out a second later. She couldn't have had time to put on her glasses. Maybe she thought she saw the boy kill his father. I say she saw only a blur.
How do you know what she saw?
Does anyone still think that this is not a reasonable doubt?
I think the kid is guilty!
Anyone else?
No, I'm convinced.
You're alone.
I don't care, I have a right!
You have a right.
I think the kid is guilty. What else do you want?
Your argument.
I gave you my arguments!
We are not convinced. We are waiting to hear them again. We have time.
What's the matter with you? You can't turn now. A guilty man's gonna be walking the streets of murderer! He's got to die! Stay with me!
I'm sorry, there's a reasonable doubt in my mind.
We're waiting.
You're not gonna scare me. It's gonna be a hung jury, that's it! You're alone.
It takes courage to stand alone.